Here we are going to talk about fractions and particularly how to add and subtract things that already have like denominators. So let's talk first of all, we've got adding and subtracting. In general, you can only do that with like things. 2 pigs plus 3 pigs, it's 5 pigs. 2 pigs plus 3 penguins, it's 2 pigs and 3 penguins. You can't do it. In decimals, it looked like this. zero point 0.3 plus zero point 0.4, and you lined up the decimals. So these guys were exactly the same thing, and you get 0.7. It comes straight down. We can rewrite these to look like fractions and make sure we know what's going on. Here we have 3 in the tenths place and 4 in the tenths place. And when we add them, we get 7 in the tenths place. Like, oh my goodness, look at that. And you're like, wait a second, why does that happen? Let's double check and make sure you remember what a denominator is. A denominator, I'm going to use the word denominate. If you look that up, it means to label or to name, assign a label to something, assign a value to something. And that's what's happening. Just like the place over here after the decimal says you're in the tenths, the fraction just says where you are, what it is. So that's why this never adds, but it has to be like things. You must have the exact same denominator or you can't do the addition. And so let's do it. The one thing with fractions is that we're not stuck with tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. We can branch out and do something like 5 elevenths plus 2 elevenths. Well, that's 5 of those elevenths plus 2 of those elevenths gives you 7 of those elevenths. And that's all there is to adding fractions. Now, when we start getting into some fun stuff like 2.3 plus 5.9, and we're like, oh, we're going to carry some stuff here. Notice what happens. 3 plus 9 is 12. Now, yeah, don't write that down. That's terrible. You know what's going on. Well, right now we're in the tenths column. And if you're in the tenths column, then 10 of them, 10 tenths, that's what equals 1. So you're taking away 10 of them and carrying up there. That's what's going on. So that's why it's 2 carry the 1. You're actually carrying 10 of them to be 1. And 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 5 is 8. So we get 8.2. And that's where we get that answer. So let's see what happens when you do with fractions. Remember, in decimals, you carry by tens because it's a decimal, a 10 mark. So in fractions, whenever you get 7/7, that's when you'll carry to equal 1. Or 5/5 equals a 1, or 13/13, or 19/19. When you have 37ths, the value of this tells you how many of them you need to get 1. So let's do a couple of problems where we've got that one. If we do 2/5 plus 3/5, well, that's going to equal 5/5, which equals 1. Let's try another one. 3/5 plus 3/5. And what happens there? We get 6/5. Now wait a second. Once you get 5/5, you get up to 1. And so this actually happens. That you're going to take that and say, wait a second, 5 of those things can go up here and create 1. So, and how much is left? 1. So that's 1 and 1/5. Let's try another one. 9/7. See, 9/7. What would that be if we carried? Well, 7 of them come over, and it's really 7/7 and 2/7. So this guy, let's draw that out there. That's really, ta-da, that's a 1, 1 and 2/7. So let's do something like 71/60. Oh my goodness, that's like 71 seconds. Well, 60 of them, take 60 away from that, and you're left with 11. But those 60, that make 1 full minute. So last problem, let's see how this all works together. Right here in the middle. If we had 3 and 8/13 plus 9 and 7/13, let's do it together. We have 8 and 7, that's 15/13, and 3 and 9 is 12. But notice what can happen on this 15/13. 13 of these guys, 13 of them come over here, and actually we should add a 1 there. So we really get 13, and let me see, we're at 15, take away 13, 2/13. So there you have it. There's adding fractions even with regrouping.